property auctions can be very popular. Sometimes it's just standing room only in there.
Yes, but it can be really exciting as bidders vie to be the successful ones.
Yeah, will the buyers be happy with their decisions? Let's have a look and see what they went for.
Choose another colour for this 3-bedroom semi in Croydon, South London.
Chocolate brown pebble dash exterior. Paint it over.
I'm in Croydon in southeast London, near to the popular park, Dappers Hill. 700 years ago, it held jousting competitions, but thankfully today, it hosts slightly more sedate sports, like basketball and football.
So what have we got? Well, it's this, a 3-bed semi. Now, it's got a guide price of $255,000. One problem, it's on a very busy road. There's a junction right there. And, well, that's if you can hear me.
Nothing you can do about the traffic, but hopefully lots you can do to the property. Let's have a look.
I'd just like to say one thing. Chocolate brown pebble dash exterior. Paint it over. Right, let's start with the property. Well, we've got veneer doors everywhere in this property. Got a really nice sized room in here. Oh, a little bit of damp in the corner, but we'll come back to that. Round here we have quite a good sized kitchen. Obviously, the kitchen needs to be completely ripped out and something lovely and new and shiny put in its place, but it's a very, very good space through there. And right at the back of the property, leading out onto the garden, you've got the lounge area. I mean, it's so dated, it's beyond words. Look at the carpet. You might want to change this. You've got doors leading to outside and they aren't really dirty, but there's a lot you could do with this place. It does reek of years gone by, so it needs a big upgrade. It needs to be brought up to date, but actually, it's quite a big house and it could be a really nice family space.
Yes, it reeks of years gone by, but there's a more worrying scent emanating from the other living room.
Now, one of the biggest challenges with damp is working out what is the cause. And down here, I think I can take a guess. If you look out this window, well, you can see the garden has been raised. And just out there is a drain pipe. Yes, it could be that simple. Water gathering next to the house is just slowly seeping in. Now, this should be easily rectifiable, but my advice, always act as quickly as you can, especially around the D word.
The D word is damp, of course, but the other word I feel is dread whenever I see this issue. Other D words that do come in handy here are damp-proof course and dehumidifier.
So upstairs, it really is just a mirror image of what's going on downstairs. One of the bedrooms, ooh, I think there's been a bit of a serious leak upstairs in that loft. Maybe some tiles are missing, but that certainly needs sorting out. Another really good sized bedroom towards the back of the property and a smaller bedroom just through there. And I'm laughing because this is almost like a special room. Because look, there's a couple of little steps, up into a rather special shower room. Now, it is not special at all because there's not even a bath in there, and it certainly needs rearranging. I'm not sure whether this originally might have been the bathroom. I'm not sure, though, what that could be. Was it put there because, you know, you need special head height for the stairs? Why are the steps there? It needs some rearranging and sorting out because, as it stands at the moment, it's not working.
Now it all just needs a bit of a rethink. But what can outside offer us?
With this house, you get quite a lot of land wrapped around it. But it's all rather awkward in its shape. So you've got a triangular little plot to the front of the building, this little side area along here. The blessing is you do have off-street parking, enough for 2 cars, which is great. And then right over here at the back, another triangular piece of land. So you do have outside space, which is fantastic, but it's awkward in its shape. So I really think landscape gardeners had better get their thinking hats on because it certainly does need a little bit of tweaking.
And a little bit of weeding too, for starters. We need a little bit of information on this house from a local estate agent. What are his first impressions of this property, guided at $255,000?
Coming through the front door, and it's evident that this property needs refurbishment from top to bottom. So you start off with maybe doing the flooring, the walls, the central heating system. You have to check the electrics. There is a possibility of doing some extensions, and that may increase the value. But for the most part, I think it just needs a general refurbishment.
My ears pricked up at the possibility of extensions, and the agent proposes an extension out the back or a loft conversion upstairs. Would it be worth adding on to this house, guided at £255,000? Let's get some valuations and find out.
This property would sell in a totally modernised condition of around £400,000 or possibly £415,000. This property extended, possibly with a rear extension, you could get maybe up to the £425,000, possibly £430,000 mark.
And how about the resale value if you extended into the loft?
Going up into the loft would give you 2 extra bedrooms, and you may also be able to get another bathroom up there, solving the problem of having that small bathroom on the first floor level. So you could get up to maybe the £475,000 mark. I think the cost of that would have to be taken into account.
Well, it's a big house on a generous plot, but there's certainly a lot to be getting on with here. Let's see what happened when it went under the hammer.
Decent sized semi. Where do you want to be on it? Are you around 275 for it? Should be. Thought so. Thank you. 275 and bid. 277.
Not surprisingly, the bidding climbed quickly, and there were 2 determined bidders. We rejoin at $292,000.
292. Make it 294, somebody. 294 in front of you. 296. 298. Yours then at 298,000 for the first. 298 for the second. Third. Final. 300, he's back in. 302. 302. 304. No, you can play that game again. Don't leave it to the last minute, otherwise you might lose out. But there's a gentleman in front of you now, again at 302 once. 302 twice. Third and final time. Now that's yours at 302,000. Your bidder number is...
A bid of $302,000 secured the property for the slightly obscured Artam. Hailing from Moscow originally, Artam came to the UK to study. And along with a business partner, this young entrepreneur is launching into the property business.
Artam, congratulations.
Hi, Lucy.
So 302,000, the hammer goes down, you've bought it. What are you going to do to change it?
This house was built in 1970s, so it's been quite a while ago. As you can see, there was no work done on the house. Since then, you still got fireplaces in every single room. These ones have to go and will free up a lot of space.
What, you mean you don't like this?
I do like it.
You don't like it?
I do like it, don't get me wrong, but what I was thinking that if you just take this all out, we'll have a lot more space and it's gonna add a little bit more light to the room as well. It will need a lot of replanning. We will explore possibilities of extending the current living space as well. The loft is a huge space there as well. You've got about 3 meters high roof there.
Oh, wow.
So we can do a lot with the loft, and it's pretty much gonna add another bedroom to the house.
So Artam plans this extra bedroom via a loft extension, but he's not done with increasing the size of the property yet.
There's a large space on the side of the house, which is probably going to take the extension to go pretty much up to the road, about 2 meters away from the road, and then we'll explore the possibility of going slightly on the right as well, where the driveway is now.
Okay, so more like a wraparound extension. What about double story or single story?
Double story would be great, and then we're going to solve the problem with our small bathroom as well. It's a lot of space here, so there are a lot of things we could do. Just because we simply didn't consider it yet, and we've just purchased the house, we'll definitely invite some more experts to have a look at it and give us an idea.
My worry is, I think an extension will be fine. What you don't want to do is extending it outwards and round and up, and then you've got all these bedrooms. You're still on a corner plot in Croydon, and you're attached to a house next door. So overdevelopment is something that I would worry about with this.
Overdevelopment is definitely a concern. Just like you said, if you add 2 or 3 extra bedrooms, probably simply no one would want to buy a house.
And then it turns into an HMO, a house of multiple occupancy. You've got all these bedrooms.
Absolutely. But we want to make it a very large, comfortable family house.
We're gonna do it. Let's get to it. He's just exploring options at the minute. Artam would ideally like a 4 to 5 bedroom house with 2 bathrooms and has set aside a budget of £80,000. Now do remember that every house and area it sits in has a ceiling price. Adding a lot more bedrooms might not add a lot more value. He has a healthy budget, and Artam plans a timescale of 6 months if they get the go-ahead for the extension. But this is a big change for Artam himself. He currently runs his own IT firm, and his second company, dealing in property, is fairly new.
And how is the business going?
Well, to be honest with you, I really enjoy working in this environment here in UK. I think it gives you a lot of opportunities. It gives ability for young talents to actually prove themselves and to show something they can do. So I really enjoy these times now and very, very excited about the construction company.
You are very young. Do you mind asking how old you are?
Absolutely, I'm 27 years old.
So you're 27 years old, and is this your first auction purchase?
Absolutely, this is the first auction purchase. The reason why I really like auctions is because you can actually seal the deal on a day. You come, you know what you're looking for.
I can imagine it suits you perfectly because it seems like you are in a big hurry to get everything done, aren't you?
Absolutely, no one wants to waste time, and you know, with estate agents there is a lot of fiddling about.
So is your business partner as excitable as you? Is he as lively and as energetic and as go-getter as you are?
I'm sure he is. I like to speak a lot more than he does, but I think we kind of add to each other here, you know?
Well, that's thank goodness he doesn't compete with you on the talking front.
No, he doesn't.
Well, I am excited to see how it all turns out, how much you extend, how much you develop on this plot, and what it's going to look like at the end. I hope you take time to just breathe and enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Lucy.
Lovely to meet you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Artam is a man in a hurry, and in his young life, well, he's already achieved such a lot. He's built up experience in construction, started up 2 companies. He certainly hopes to get a lot done in a short space of time here. But sometimes you just need to pace yourself. And with a project of this scale, could it be more of a marathon than a sprint? Join me later in the programme and you can see how Artam gets on.
We're heading back to Croydon to see a pretty substantial 3-bedroom property with a lot of space, but also a lot of problems. It was very dated and needed modernising throughout. It also suffered from water damage at the back and from above. Upstairs, the layout was also, quirky.
Because look, there's a couple of little steps, up into a rather special shower room. Now, it is not special at all because there's not even a bath in there.
Willing to take on this house, with all its flaws, was Artam, who between him and his business partner have experience in the construction business. So this project held no fears for him. He paid £302,000 at auction for this, and sounds like he'll be spending a lot more.
Which is probably going to take the extension to go pretty much up to the road, about 2 meters away from the road, and then we'll explore the possibility of going slightly on the right as well, where the driveway is now.
OK, so more like a wraparound extension. What about double-storey or single-storey?
Double-storey would be great. Then we're going to solve the problem with our small bathroom as well.
Increasing the footprint of the house was dependent on Artam getting planning permission from the council, who might not look favourably on a double extension on this plot. Aside from that, I was getting worried that he was in danger of overdeveloping this property. We're back to see if Artam's ambitious plans have been realised. And yes, looks like they have. Plus the chocolate-coloured pebble dash is gone. I hope the changes to the old-fashioned interior are just as impressive. Wow, the added extension plus knocking the wall through has really modernised this layout. And there's more. This lovely family bathroom on the ground floor is where the kitchen used to be. The damp was taken care of in the front room and everything just looks so fresh. Thanks to the extension, upstairs has benefited from more space too. Last, but by no means least, is the change in that pokey little shower room. So where has all this space come from? Time for Artam to fill us in.
When we initially seen this house, the first floor bathroom was of a tiny size, which couldn't be used by the family. So what we decided to do, we decided to use this space and go into our extension on the first floor to create a larger bathroom. I think that the new homeowner is going to be really happy with the size of this bathroom and going to be enjoying by using it every day.
Yes, I'm sure they will. But has Artam enjoyed himself whilst working on this project?
It's been really exciting 9 months. First to planning, it's taken the first 2 months. That was a bit of a wait here and there. Once the planning passed through, we started the build. It's taken us about 6 months to do it. We did go for a top end with this house. A lot of people were saying to us this is probably not the best thing to do in Croydon. However, every job that we do, especially with our project, we want to put a little bit of a personality in the projects that we do. We do put our soul in such a build, and that's the reason why they do come out in the way they do.
A high-spec finish doesn't just take a lot of attention and passion. It takes a lot of money.
When we initially started this particular job, we sat down choosing materials and the finishes that we're going to use, and we realized that actually we can invest a little bit more money into this property. We dropped our plans of going into the loft and extending it, which saved us quite a bit of money, which we could spend on internal works. Plus, we decided to go for a little bit more high-end finishes, such as the granite worktops and slightly more expensive appliances that are already in the house, which brought our costs slightly up. So we did finish above 100,000 spent on this house. I think we got it right on the spot.
Artam has clearly done the maths and worked out that adding the loft extension would not equal a good return. Has he decided if he wants to rent it or sell this lovely family home?
It came out to be such a nice house that we can't even think of renting it out. So it went straight onto the market. We had really successful open day with 24 people who viewed the house on the first day when the house went on the market. So our initial plan was followed precisely in terms of selling the property other than keeping it as our asset and rent it out.
Well, I think it's time we added 2 more to those viewing figures and see what the local estate agents think of the changes here.
The changes of this property are drastic. He's changed a lot. So when I came in, I didn't actually recognise much of the property. I think he's done a great job. It's a lovely quality of finish. It's exactly what I recommended. Actually go out as much as he could and go across. I think he didn't really need to do the double-storey extension. That would have added a lot of cost and also time to his project.
I think that it's the best house on the road, bar none, really, in terms of the quality of the work and the amount of space available. So people would normally come here for a much smaller house.
Having the best house on the street, well, that can be an advantage in getting you lots of interest and a quick sale, but there's always a risk of pricing yourself out of a particular market. Could Artam and his team have gone over the ceiling price for the street? They have spent a total of 402,000 here.
I think it'll break the ceiling of the road generally, which is around the 400 mark, of course, because it's such a fantastic house, it really is. But I think he might struggle to achieve the prices that are expected, given the amount of money that he's put in versus the potential returns.
Oh dear, so what kind of figures could we expect here?
This property would achieve approximately £500,000.
If I were marketing this house, I would put the value at between £500,000 and £525,000.
That's very interesting evaluation, and a lot of agents giving very similar evaluations on this property. Thankfully, we had high offers than that already. We're getting the offers in the region of £550,000. We don't expect it to be sold any higher than that, but it's already great news because it's just above the evaluations that we're getting.
Even the lower £525,000 value would give Artam a very healthy £123,000. Wow, that's great profit. So what's next?
We just started another big development in London. I'm really excited where it's going to go next.